Alright, hello everybody and welcome on back. We're gonna do some musings, we're gonna do some exploration, and yeah, and definitely some musings in all sense of the word, because without giving out too much information. Well, first off, I did schedule parent-teacher conferences. We're good. So, that was the main thing I needed to do. And I should have done it a couple days ago. I'm really bad at the communications for my kids' stuff. I mean, like, we'll just put it there in grade school. Alright, so we'll just leave it at that without giving out too much. And by the time you watch this, they'll probably be in high school or driving. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, same thing. Or in college, or who knows. But, um, 'cause it at least takes a couple of years to get big. Anyways, there's that music playing me off of that subject. Um, but no, without divulging too much info. Also, like I mentioned earlier, like the high school sweetheart. See, I don't know how much to divulge, and I think like streaming, I'd probably just share everything like on air and then be like, all right, done, and then like be wanted in like 13 countries and like have a bunch of people need therapy for what they just heard and like, you know, just, uh, not to say therapy isn't important. I think everybody should go through it. Even if you don't think anything's wrong, nothing has to be wrong to do mental wellness or mental health checkups. So. And you never know. I mean, there's some stuff in there, just like stepping back and analyzing and having somebody like gently analyze you, because that's the thing. And that's why like I don't know if I could be a good therapist. I mean, because although at the same time, if like if we've agreed to talk about this, and my opinion is being asked based on my knowledge or my history or my education or whatever. Because I've often thought about becoming like an addictions counselor or something like that, just like or a counselor for people, or even more, even like a case manager for people coming from jail or, you know, hard situations like that, poverty, extreme poverty, often intertwined. Wait, hmm, before I get too. Oh, hey, B. Santa should go back this. Oh, wait, no. This way a little bit. Ah. Alright. Yeah, no, we won't go into too much information, get my personal stuff out there, but life choices stuff. I don't know. We might revisit that, but this will be an interesting point in time looking back for my own memoirs. As long as YouTube doesn't just completely erase my stuff, delete my channel or whatnot. So I'm just posting these up there, and then deleting them from my PlayStation. So they're volatile now. I mean, which is okay. Best case, I reach a lot of people and I help encourage them to help each other. Worst case, I'm wanted in 13 countries. I'm just kidding. I'm not breaking any laws or rules. Uh, I'm not here anyway. Anywho. So yeah, and also over the weekend I did get the dishes done, and I did. Also, we're gonna run right by the village, and that lets us explore more of the map. But anyways, um, got laundry done, got dishes done. I mean, was still able to play a lot of video games. Did some other cleaning up of the house, picking up, and I'm designating like one spot like every day or a few days. Ooh, I always love running into these in the wild. So the Illager outposts. And I wonder how I can mark that. I mean, aside from like, there's got to be an easier way than leaving a whatever. What's this map? Locator map. There you go. So a locator map, if you leave it on an item frame in a location, it'll put a location on your map. It'll put a green teardrop. So, or like what we're doing, we've got like a white teardrop kind of upside down, pointing the direction we're going. But I usually try it in the realm. I've been trying to, and actually, let's see what it is. We can just hold it. Yeah, so I usually put the teardrop like a teardrop to mark a base. Actually, another portal, which I gotta figure out the nether now. Religion, politics, musings. No, we're doing dirt. We'll just leave musings. Oh, whatever. I don't know if we'll actually write a lot in the books as we run around because we're exploring. So like to stop and write something down, unless it's very profound, and then in which case, yeah, should always just have the books with us, and then we could just stop and do something. Oh, this is pretty glorious. All right, so politics. Yeah, Russia, USSR dissolved, but not really. Um, actually, let's leave a couple pages for Russia. Let's do US. We need some self. USA. At war most our history. Sorry, you gotta start off with a few hard to swallow truths and then get into history. History. Um, uh, colonial or colony turned genocide. And an actual of the meaning of the word. Geno genocide? We'll go with that. Ah. I'm so lost without spell check, so this could be pretty funny. Genocide. Alright, well, either that's our old misspelling or it's the actual word. But in the sense of actually trying to get rid of an entire group of people, like, by. The only other real version of it that I can think of is World War II and Hitler with the Jewish faith. Like, oh, whoa, what was that? Colony turned genocide on the native inhabitants. And even them, um, uh, there's an argument, colony turned genocide on the current inhabitants. There we go. Inhabitants. Okay. All right. And then early economy. Heavily reliant. There we go. Heavily. And don't worry, I'm getting to the good part. Heavily reliant on slavery. So the hard to swallow truths at the beginnings, because you got to be able to look inwardly before you start looking outwardly and pointing fingers and telling people how they should run their countries. Because let's take a look right there. At war most of our history, colony turned genocide on the current inhabitants. Like we started off, we were welcomed by the natives. They welcomed us and we killed them all. We actually gave them blankets with disease to try to wipe them out. We fought them in wars like Custer's Last Stand. Remember the Alamo was more in Mexico, I think, but still like current inhabitants. So the locals, we waged war with the locals all over, and it was cowboys and Indians. Like I remember growing up, or at least like my parents' generation, more of the TV was focused around the propaganda that was cowboys and Indians, black and white, like kill the Indians type thing, driving that hatred to solidify the white man's overtaking of this country. Now, I am a white man, I own that. My history is that I'm also German too. So, baklava. Actually, if I took an ancestry test, I'd probably be a mixed mutt of a lot of different things. So, anyways, my point being, is this a general broad stroke of our country at first? Um, English, which you're listening to this in, is spoken around the world. That's it. That's the joke. That's the spoken around the world. Now, that is piggybacking off of England around the world. But mission accomplished as far as England was concerned and the colonies and all that around the world. Now, not to say that we got to stop speaking all other languages, quite the opposite. Um, this is just what it's always surprising to me. Every country I go to, English is pretty much accepted. Like, I mean, you can get around with English. Now, a lot of it is like port cities, so it's more intercultural. But just the amazing rate that other people are able to learn other languages, at least conversation, like I mean, or they could get by. Now, the same could be said with other languages. Now, I've taken 4 years of high school Spanish, which was good. I should have probably continued to take Spanish in college or even do special things like Rosetta Stone. Same could be said about French or some other language. I mean, I want to kind of learn German. So, and I do have a learn German CD. So, if I can find it. But I mean, which I would listen to driving around in the car. But anyways, English spoken around the world. So like, like three horrible self-examinations. Like for every finger you point at somebody, there's three pointing back at you. But then, or also the wealthiest country on the world. I mean, China's giving us a run for our money. Russia's catching up. Kind of, not really. I'm just kidding. Like, cause, um, let's see. Page. Yeah, we'll have to do page 5. Oops. USA. Just continued. So I'll just have the country on the top of any of them, but um, wealthiest country. Wealthiest? Is that even a word? Wealthiest country. Period. Because Texas does the same economy as Russia, I've heard. Wealthiest country. By far. Okay. In fact, we'll even do the Texas. We could even do some. I don't know, there is no X or something. Anyways. The umlaut or the. Let's see, Texas. GDP. Ah. Oh yeah, I had it right. GDP. Okay, GDP uh, equals is equal to Russia. And not trying to diss Russia. A lot of Russia is frozen tundra land. There's not a lot going on there. It'd be like comparing Canada with Russia, which I mean, I'd be interested to see what Canada's GDP is. And Texas is nuts. Like everything is bigger in Texas, including like the greed, the wealth, the like because it was an oil, like same with Colorado being the gold rush. We had a lot of gold like and probably a lot of gangster families too. Like I mean, I talk about going to Malaysia to see that, but and actually, let's see, what is this even? Politics? Um, for that matter, world politics. Let's actually do Colorado. Actually, wait. Actually, we'll still tack USA on, but to specifically do Colorado, and actually I say that as I got my invitation to Casa Bonita. Woo! So I got to figure that out because it just took me that long to schedule parent-teacher conferences, which it's all online. It's awesome, and encryption is important. And anybody on my networks, whew, you're in for a ride. Because I'm on several watch lists and like monitored and all of this for various different reasons. One being trained in the dark arts of cybersecurity, multiple times. So, and with that comes special monitoring. So, it doesn't even matter. You think about it. You drive around in a city. I live in Fort Collins. Every stoplight has a camera. So, if anything were ever to happen to me, they would know first. I'm not saying like an invitation. Please don't, because they wouldn't know for like a couple days later. They'd be like, "Oh, nope, there he is," and they'd bust you. You'd be in prison for life, but or worse. I mean, depends on who finds you first. Anyways, Colorado gangster towns. So like the Malaysia like Gold Rush gangsters. That's about it. My family has a very old lineage in let's see, Gold Rush gangsters in the family as well, and some good, some bad. I don't even know, but it's mixed a lot. So I had a pioneering family. I could get the pioneering license plates, meaning that my family's bloodline has lived in this state old enough, like we're the original settlers. So I can be traced back to that. That might have had some beef with natives. I might have some blood on my family's hands from that. Same with the German. Like I might, because like, see, I don't know. There's so many different weavings. Like I feel like we all have a little bit of all this heritage, which is great. We're all becoming those melting pots of, oh, by the way, you know, you got to do some of that self inventory anyway. But and then so Gold Rush Gangsters, I could go on in Colorado a lot for that. But then even just the next page, Malaysia. There we go. I was in Penang. Mm, let's actually just let's do the Penang. Let's add the Penang, or it's also called Georgetown, which is kind of and even then it could be split because of colonization, I think. But so we'll do Penang, Malaysia, because that's more of a, I think what the locals or the current inhabitants would call it versus any visitors or because we got to admit the British Empire really screwed up a lot of things. I noticed that in India too. They had a lot of beautiful architecture, but they also have a very bloody history of being conquered by England, and that's some of the history that we don't actually have under a microscope in America, like how violent England is. Sorry, British expansion was, or even Spain for that matter. Conquistadors like Mexico was pretty much taken over too. Anyways, but Penang, Malaysia. The reason I bring that up is Mafia House, Mafia Mansions, Mafia Mansions, um, liked golf. That is the most profound part of it all, I can say. Liked golf. That's very important. All right, and then back on page, Colorado Gold Rush Gangsters, South Park, Casa Bonita. Oh, whoops. Uh, sorry. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. South Park, which is basically our heritage, our history, in a comical way. So it's not like don't take it any of it super seriously. South Park Casa Bonita, but also Casa Bonita. It's one of our local casa, which means house. Beautiful house, but house beautiful, but the in Spanish it's backwards. You say the adjective after the noun. So you say, "Oh, this is such a beautiful house. Oh, this is a casa bonita." And other languages too. I want to say Italian is like, "Oh, okay, whatever." Bonita. No, too bad it's not the, because I could do that. Oh, which one is it? Okay, yeah, this one. South Park Casa Bonita, which I just got invited to get tickets to go eat there, and I'm gonna do it at some time this month or next month. It's open for a couple of months, but it's so funny because anyone who's a fan of South Park in this scene, not that you're not a fan if you haven't seen this episode, mind you, but I don't want to be a South Park snob. But there's an episode where Cartman, actually, let's even just talk about that. South Park Casa Bonita, um, uh, Cartman, then Buys. Just buys. Theme park. There you go. I mean, all of it's important, but like, yeah, it's fine. Gold Rush Gangsters, and then it's pretty much the thing. Like the Tabers and the, I don't know the other families, but like they found gold. You had a lot of gold. They bought a lot of like drugs, alcohol, and women. And they had like sex shacks and whorehouses and all this. And I'm sorry, like, but that's Colorado's history. The Gold Rush Gangsters, and then Penang, Malaysia, mafia mansions, light golf, okay, and also had artwork or yeah, artwork in outdoor reflective area. Reflective area. By that I mean like a meditation spot, like a courtyard or like reflective area. I have pictures. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see about that. But I mean, if you have a chance to go to Malaysia, go check out Penang or Georgetown, which is and there's mansions. Oh, I was gonna say I have a sticker on my coffee cup. Anyways, but they liked golf, which and they looked like outdoor reflective area um, about heaven and hell. Ah, but this is Malaysia. Is that the Christian heaven and hell, or is that like a different heaven and hell? Like, or I don't even know. It's worth considering, and it's a Chinese history because it's like Chinese settlers were like they're in fact yeah let's do that. Chinese settlers were like Colorado. Well, let's just say Colorado Gold Rush gangsters. They were. I mean, like we were looking at the antiques and stuff, and I mean, they had fancy things. They had an acquired taste, and this is what survived were these fancy houses that didn't get destroyed or redone or lived in or reused. Like they were shrines or paid homage to our history. Like the wealthiest and the wealthy, and often not by very reputable means. Like they just got lucky. They dug in the right spot. Now it was hard work, and to travel out here too. So only the boldest of the bold, well, that's just, humans are by nature capable of all these things. It just depends on if they actually have to do them. So, yeah. Hmm. Maybe not even do them, but simulate it by going to the gym, or riding bikes or exercising, all sorts of like things you could do. Snowboarding, but you almost gotta wanna, you're gonna wanna go to the gym a little bit before you go skiing or snowboarding, because it's work. I'm out of shape. Like if I were to go, I haven't gone in years. I used to live on the mountain. Ugh. Like, well, worked there for 3 seasons, but I went 30 plus days. I don't know, a lot. Anyways, but yeah, just between Malaysia and Colorado, two very, very different places. What's up with that merchant trader? Come back here. Yes. Yeah, but I don't think I'm gonna waste emeralds on anything else. Okay. All right. So yeah, by understanding other cultures and realizing how similar we are to each other, it helps span the bridges and the divides of those fake painted on country borders. Oh my gosh, it just keeps getting cooler. Look at this. Uh, and yeah, Gold Rush gangsters, because that's basically what it was. Like the rich stayed rich, and they had, they were like favored by the town because they could buy them off. And they weren't the most noble of people. They were the scoundrels. They were getting into all sorts of illegal stuff, and like, it was the Wild West. Just like Vegas or like all the mafia movies that you see. And it's funny because then seeing a mafia house in Penang, like, and it was very similar. And I almost want to say they had their own. Was it Gold Rush? Maybe I don't even know. But riches, wealth, and like there was very the wealthier families were more literate, just like here, you know. And same with England too. England had like offshoots all over the place about the same time, of the well-educated, you know, exploiting the locals and you know having a rootin' tootin' time. I can just see some British historians just being all upset, very upset with me, like wanting to have a talk. Like, how dare you reduce our entire country and history to like, it's America, Mo? No, I'm just kidding. Uh, oh, I almost got way ghetto with it just there. Like on the trailer park, boys. Did I mention I had a trailer? Yes, I believe last episode. I lived in a trailer. Oh, and high school sweethearts, plural. I don't know. There really is only the one, the sweetheart. I was very serious about that one. That's what's awkward because TMI, TMI. But self-reflection, which is important, and life decisions, which should not be made lightly, and talking things through. Usually, what you do with your buddies, which I intend on doing that very soon. We're gonna have some powwows. Oh, just like the moon, the night. I do want to find a swamp. Wait, I haven't seen a swamp in a while. Are there swamps in this version? Because I've definitely been in a lot of swamps. There has to be. There's even mangrove swamps. Yeah, okay. Anyway, sorry. I just had to like go through all of that. Like, it's amazing because I saw the moon, and the moon does affect the spawning of um, the blobs, or the slimes. Gold Rush Gangster. I'm just excited because I'm gonna go to Casa Bonita. I gotta figure out sometime it works. It's very limited. And that Cartman episode that I was writing about, he somehow acquires a theme park. I don't remember how he gets the money for it, but like the theme park's like in, it's not doing very good business. It's all in ruin, and like so they're having to sell, and somehow Cartman has money for it, and like he buys it, and he keeps talking about how sick he is of the lines, a lot like the Dr. Seuss Grinch ripping that idea off, and you know, and that's why I love, yeah, South Park and Rick and Morty and adult cartoons and all that. But anyways, American culture, straight from Colorado. Ah, although I don't condone everything Cartman does. You're not supposed to. So, but anyways, so he buys it, and and he doesn't let anybody in. It's just him riding rides and just, you know, having a great time. And somehow he has his friends join him. I think he only let a few of his friends in. But he's like, all right, but just don't ride any of the rides that I'm about to ride, okay? And they're like, okay, cool. And so then he finally like runs around, and then he gets there, and they're standing in line for one of the rides. And so then he's like, ah, now what? What's with this line? And they're like, the ride's not working. And so then it comes about, and you should really go check out the episode. But the basic idea is he only lets in like a couple of people to pay for this. And then if you give a mouse a cookie, like in that whole story, where like if you do that, then they're gonna want more and more and more. Like, you know, if you give a little, then you're gonna find that you got to give a lot, and then not always, but it's funny when that happens. All right, so that's this one. Got a pretty good amount of this, and we got some good music on. We didn't do as much exploration because we sat and wrote some stuff, but that's good. We can fill these out, get them back there. Ah, we can't make copies. At least I don't know yet. I'll have to try some more things, but or I could just Google it. And that's what I actually just did recently with the high school. I'm just kidding. Oh my god. Uh, ta for now, everybody. I will see you in the next one. Actually, wait, we still got 30 seconds. Now we'll make it a short. Ta. I'll see you in the next one.